With friends, happy Cinco de Mayo. We have a fun show. We got our old buddy John Grace with us this morning, and Robbie Shapiro and Dora Ambrose this morning talking about Small Business Week, as well as Katie Blackwell from ABQ2 is on to tell us about everything to do in Albuquerque on the Morning Brew with friends. Finding all the best songs again. Last week we had some 90s rap, and then we're up to it was great. Positive K. I Got a Man. That was our song last week. We're mixing it up especially on Cinco de Mayo. We're mixing it up a little bit, you know. Although yesterday was my favorite day, May the 4th.
Oh yeah.
As in May the 4th be with you, right? And I was like totally nerding out on all the Star Wars stuff, which leads us right into headlines brought to us by Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy. And this is interesting. You know, the oil price has gone down, made my commute so much easier. You know, with $2 gas. Yeah. But because of that, a lot of guys in the oil patch are hurting right now. You know, it had been just exploding with growth, especially down in Hobbs, Eunice, southern part of the state. And it looks like right now, because oil prices are down, the state could lose almost 2,000 jobs. And we're already down 2,500. So something that we're watching and just paying attention to.
Well, if I can jump in on the retail side, when oil prices go down, people typically go out to eat more, they spend more money on clothing, and we didn't see that this past year. And so that was very interesting that people are kind of holding on to their money instead of going out and spending it.
That is interesting, because that was one of the things when I've talked to the governor's folks and when I've talked to legislators, they say, well, the average family has $2,000, $2,500 extra to spend on stuff. Yeah. But you guys didn't see that in the retail world?
No. And in fact, you know, for the holidays, November was quite slow, and then I think everybody was waiting till last minute to see about purchasing gifts, and so we saw an upswing. Yeah. But it was very interesting. Attended, I think it was Albuquerque Business First luncheon on economic outlook, and the economists were talking about how that, tongue-tied there, talking about how they didn't see more money going back into the economy.
It's kind of been scary, and we don't know what's going to happen. And now if we're losing jobs on top of that, who knows what's going to happen. Yeah. But in more fun news, the Simpsons are renewed. I love this. This is pretty big to me. The Simpsons are going into their 27th and 28th seasons. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And what's mind-blowing is half the crew here is younger than the Simpsons. I love it. And the Simpsons, I remember like being in middle school when these guys were so huge. It was like the only thing anybody watched. I'm dating myself here.
I know.
But
don't say it too loud.
What this is, right? And it seems like to me they're still fresh and new, but to have it be going into almost 600 episodes by the time the contract is done, with all of the amazing part is all the original voice cast members.
That is awesome. Yeah.
So, and then you love being downtown as much as I love being downtown.
Yes.
New grocery store is coming. We're thrilled about this, right? And yesterday they announced not just gonna be a grocery store. The second and third floors here are actually residential spots, but they're gonna be adding a restaurant space, a full-scale restaurant space, trying to get a nice gourmet restaurant downtown, and retail spots for little boutiques. Maybe like somebody, I don't know if you know of anybody who has a nice little boutique that sells clothes.
Down there. That has been my biggest push, is looking at different spots throughout the city and really looking at downtown. And it's interesting because right now our customer base, we've asked them about that, and they're like, there's no reason why we'd go downtown. So projects like this are huge, huge for building up that.
And this is one, it dispels all the myths about downtown stuff, because parking under the building, 2 floors of parking underneath, no excuses not to come downtown after that. There will be parking. And then this is crazy. New Princess came out and she's got a name. Yes, finally, this is Charlotte. She broke the internet. Everybody, I couldn't believe it. Last night I was on Twitter, I was on Facebook, wherever else. It was unbelievable how many people were tweeting her name and talking about Charlotte and everything else. And I guess there were some Las Vegas odds makers who had Diana as the name, but it was Charlotte.
Isn't it one of her middle names?
It is. Okay. It is, yes. And then, this is great, the last night, a bunch of guys, and you know some of them, the guys from Newscastic and some others pitched their businesses at the Scrappy Startups Challenge. And this is our friend Chris Ortiz. He's a friend of the show's here. And my photos are not the best. My photos are fuzzy, it looks like, from from the audience, but it's intense with these guys pitching, trying to get some money. Chris Ortiz and the Gas Newscast did not win.
Oh.
But the guys from Equiseek, the guys from It's Sums,
Yay,
right?
So Paul. Yeah.
And then It's Sums.
Wonderful.
And, one other's it's escaping me right now, are all going to Las Vegas for the V2V conference.
How awesome.
From Albuquerque, so it's going to be great. And then finally, this is one of my favorite photos of the week. Vanity Fair finally released an official Star Wars cover, and they did it on May the 4th, which is great.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or has Chewbacca had some work done?
Yeah, just a
I'm
little
pretty
bit.
sure Chewbacca had some little lightning done in the beard there. Looks like he had a little bit of
Where's the
nose
gray?
work.
Yeah.
Right, you know? Well, we'll be back in a couple of seconds. We'll talk Small Business Week, and we're going to talk about some awesome film education stuff and film camps this summer.
Fun.
Should be fun on the Morning Brew with friends.